Hey y'all, this is Angela, Hodgepodge with Angela, and I'd like to welcome you to another show today. Today I'm going to talk about curating your world and making your world a better place for you and your family. And what I mean by curating your world is your home, your surrounding, things that you do, things that make you happy, and just a little bit about what we have done to curate our own world. But before I do, I need to give you a little background of why we started doing that. One being COVID. Once everything was locked down, you couldn't go nowhere. You couldn't go to the movies, you couldn't go out to eat, you couldn't go shopping. So we started doing things around the house that made us happy. And when I say us, I mean myself and of course WB. But we started doing things to make us happy, and it took a little time to get to that point. A lot of you that know my story, you know that I used to travel for work all the time. I've been in the same industry for 31 years. Oh my God. I figured it up the other day and I could not believe it, but I have been in the same industry for 31 years. It's incredible. But I have changed companies throughout that time. And with my old company, I traveled a lot. And then with my company that I'm with right now, I traveled weekly. I'd leave on Mondays, come home on Friday. And when COVID happened, it shut down. It didn't shut down our department. We still were doing things, but we couldn't travel anymore because, like the rest of the world, we didn't know what was going on. So once that happened, Hubby B and I decided, okay, we've got to make our home our sanctuary. We've got to make it to where this is our favorite place. I mean, besides my church and going to my sister's house, my home is my favorite place to be. I'd much rather be here than anywhere else on the world. Maybe Hawaii. Maybe I'd like to be in Hawaii with my house in Hawaii. But my house is not super fancy. It's 20 years old, maybe older, and it had to have some work done. And before Hubby B and I got married, he made some changes and that kind of thing. But over the last couple of years, we've made huge changes because of trying to curate our own world. And like I said, I traveled a lot for work, and once COVID happened and our department was grounded, I had a bedroom that I turned into like half office. It was still had bedroom furniture, and it didn't have a bed, but it did have dressers and all that in it. So we decided to sell all of that because we didn't need the extra bedroom. Nobody ever comes to visit us, and all the kids are grown now, so nobody wants to come stay with us. If they do, we have a place for them to sleep. But anyway, so we turned one of the bedrooms into my office, and you guys have seen the videos on the channel. If you haven't, they're there. But all of my artwork that I've gotten from like Walker Stalker, huge fan of like Walker Stalker, and I love Harley Quinn, and I'm just looking around the room. I love Wonder Woman. I love Marilyn Monroe. So I'm just looking around the room at some of the things that I have. Daryl Dixon, or Norman Reedus and Daryl Dixon. But just things that are in my office that I love, that when we decided to turn this into a true office, I wanted some of my prints and stuff like this. Is my fancy corner. This is one of my favorite areas in the room. But this is my Maryland corner, and I love it so much. I love my fancy lady. But we did this. This was kind of like one of the biggest projects that we did once COVID happened. And my desk is over there, my work computers, monitors, and all that. And so we got this done, and I love it. If I want to get away, if I want to come in here and watch TV, I have a TV in here. If I want to come to a silent place or quiet place and read a book, I can do that. Or if I want to work, or if I want to film videos or play in my planners, whatever I want to do, this is part of my sanctuary and part of what I mean by curating your world. Have spaces in your home that you just love. Another space that we just recently finished is my hall bathroom. Our master bathroom was done a couple years ago, but the hall bath is the one I use most of the time. As far as, putting makeup on and things like that. But the hall bath was just refinished, and it's more of a spa type atmosphere. Put a soaking tub in there, and there's a TV in there, and I like candles if I just want to go in there and take a bath and read or whatever. Because it was just an old standard tub that was taken out, and it's painted a pretty color. and it's just real pretty. And that was another part of curating our world that made us happy, because you can't go anywhere. You can't, well, you can now, but you couldn't when we talked about making all these changes. We have a TV room where we go and we sit, and it's an old bedroom. We do have 3 bedrooms, but we turned the bedrooms into office, and the other is a TV room. We have a TV on the wall. It's dark. It has blackout curtains. Has a movie sofa, with the cup holders and all that. We have a huge love sack beanbag type thing in there. But it's just a great place to come and watch movies if we just want to sit and watch movies or TV shows. So we did that, and that was part of curating our world. And then we got into doing other things, like Hubby B has gotten into gardening. And I don't know if you call it really gardening or his roses. Like, he's really, really loving roses and looking up roses and planting roses and see what they're doing. So he, cleaned out the flower beds and made them really nice, and he's planting all of that. So that's what he's doing. That's what he's loving about being at home, because if you try to plan a trip, which we've gone on several, small little trips, and either, you go places and you have to stand in line forever. There's not enough people working. Or if you go out to eat, and I said this in another video, but if you go out to eat, it's, either the service is not good and the food's good, or the food's good, or it's super duper tiny. We went to Cracker Barrel the other day, and what Hubby B used to get as pancakes is now pancakes. So you're still paying more, but you're getting less. And, so, things are just not as good. So we just decided that we wanted to update our home and make this a more pleasant place. Now, if I could, I would update my kitchen. And what I mean by that is make it bigger, because our kitchen's tiny. It's really tiny. But I don't cook a lot. Mostly crock pot or something simple, because I think that if I had a bigger kitchen, I would have to cook more, and I don't want to cook more. I barely want to do the little bit of cooking that I do. But so other things, besides the garden, and he has a shed out back that he cleaned that out, and that's kind of his, his little sanctuary. Not a man cave or anything like that. He doesn't have any sitting chairs or anything, but that's where he's keeping all of his gardening tools, and he's really enjoying that. Another thing that we really like to do is sit outside. And especially me, when it's raining, I like to sit out there with a book. And what we did is we bought really nice big canopies. Like the one we got is like 10 by 13 or something like that. And it's enclosed. It has the mosquito netting. And what we did was we added some of those like bamboo blinds. And if it gets to storming too bad and I still want to sit outside, because I have a tendency to do that, we'll just close them. And then it's pretty much, it's not, the wind doesn't bother us, or if it's raining really hard, it doesn't bother us. We just close those blinds, because the back is on a wall, and then we have the 2 sides, and we can still look out front. So we absolutely love that. We have another area in the garden that we put a bench and a really super comfy cushion under a tree. So if it's raining and you're down there under the tree, you won't get wet. And my Adirondack chair. We have 3 places in our backyard that you can just sit and enjoy the quiet. I love to sit outside when it's cold and when it's not too hot. If it starts getting hot, this girl's going in the house. I don't like summer. I'm not ready for summer. You see, I'm sitting here with a big sweatshirt on. I don't like spring. I don't like summer. I like fall and winter. And I'm not looking forward to it. But some other things that we've done is we still have physical media. I've talked about this in a couple other podcasts, where we still buy DVDs. And we do that because you never know if the cable is going to go out. We don't have cable, but we have internet. If the internet goes out, we can still watch movies. I have books. And when the Kindles came out, all my friends got rid of their books. But they were reading everything on their e-readers, which is good if you download your books. But if you're borrowing a book, I don't know how it works. I've never done it other than on my iPad. I would download books to my iPad. But I don't like reading on an iPad. I think the iPad's too heavy. I like the smell of a book. I like holding a book. I like a bookmark. So I still have books. I still buy books all the time. if you guys want to buy books and you're looking for a good cheap place besides Amazon, thriftbooks.com is a great place to get books pretty cheap. Now, I haven't been able to find any of the newer releases from there. Like there was a book I wanted the other day and I looked for it there and they didn't have it. So maybe they will later and it'll be a little bit cheaper. I don't have a problem with used books. Some of them come from old libraries, which is kind of cool to see it, you know, on the side where it's coming from. And I like that. But I do encourage you to get yourself some books, get yourself some DVDs, and make your home your haven. We spend a lot of money on our homes, and now we're spending more and more time there. Like I said, our house is old, but I love our house so much. It's a warm house. You come in, now you can't congregate in the kitchen because the kitchen is too small, but our den area, we have this ginormous sofa, and you can get, you know, 10 people on it, maybe more. And if we were having a game night or a big movie night or something, we could all just sit there and enjoy it. We don't do that, but we could if we wanted to. And, you know, people come in and they see the pretty bathroom and they sit on the bidet with the heated toilet seat. I mean, we've just done so much here to make our home a happy, warm place. And I know a lot of people can't do that because it does cost money. And we just didn't have the money to throw around to go do this. We had to save, especially now because it takes every little penny we got to live. And I'm not going to get into that, but I could, but I'm not going to. But, we had to save and, you know, get things right and organized, and, you know, you have to get people in here to do it. And thank goodness for my bathroom. I told you guys this before, but hubby B has a really good friend that came and helped do that. So I'm so grateful for him, you know, for doing that. So thank you, hubby B buddy, if you're listening to this or watching. But, you know, it's just, like I said, I love my house. I love being home. I'm so grateful that God has given me a job that I can work from home and I can be here, even though sometimes I have to get away and I just have to run to Walmart and get out sometimes because the dogs have driven me crazy or whatever. If you guys work from home, you know what I'm talking about. Funny story that I wanted to tell you about physical media, and I thought about it earlier today when I was in the shower. So I hope you've stayed to listen to this. But many, many years ago, I went to, I think it was called Cortez, Colorado. I think that's right. With some people on a hunting trip. Now, I'm not a hunter, but they were, and we were passing through. We were going from Texas to Vegas, and we were driving, and it was beautiful. It was all, you know, parts of Colorado I'd never been, into Utah. It was just great. But we stopped at this ranch, and the people I was with, they were going to do some hunting for a couple of days. Like I said, I'm not a hunter, but I did not think to take a book. And I don't recall, cell phones might have been a thing then. I don't really know. But of course, we couldn't watch TV on them or anything like we can now. But I just remember being at this hunting lodge. And, you know, most of the time at a hunting lodge, it's all men. Usually there's no women. So other than the wife of the owner or whatever. So she was there, but she was not doing well. She had had surgery or something, and she wasn't around. So I was pretty much just left by myself. And I didn't take a book, didn't think about taking a book because, you know, we're driving, passing through, and I can't read in the car because I get car sick. So why would I take a book? And then I'm ending up in Vegas. So why would I take books to Vegas? So, and you can't just jump in the car from a ranch in Cortez, Colorado and run to the store and get a book because it was like a 30-minute ride or something like that. So anyway, at the cabin or the lodge or whatever they called it, they had a console TV, if you guys remember console TVs, and a VCR. And I think there were some books, but they might have been like Westerns, and I'm not a Western reader. But anyway, he had one VHS. This is the day of VHS tapes. He had one there. It was City Slickers. And y'all, this is no joke. I watched City Slickers, I bet 7 times while I was there. I think it was just there a couple of days, but that's all there was to do. I couldn't get out and walk around because I didn't want to get shot, you know, by hunters, you know, hearing me and thinking I was a deer or whatever. And so I just stayed on the property. There was no radio. All there was this box console TV and City Slickers. And I watched City Slickers 7 times. I may have watched it 6 or 7 times. And I know that movie by heart. I can quote the whole movie, but I'm saying all this to say get you some physical media, because there was no internet, there was no nothing. And if I hadn't had City Slickers, I probably would have gone insane. But anyway, that is the show for today. I don't want to keep rambling on about this. I've pretty much said the same thing. Do things to curate your world. I even joked about, you guys remember the show, The Dome? I think it was a Stephen King show, and it was on Hulu or something. And I even joked one time about, can we just put a dome over our world and, keep everything safe here? But anyway, just, make your home. And we're going to plant some more flowers. So there's going to be so much to come and so many pictures over on here on the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure that you go over to YouTube and subscribe to me there under Hodgepodge with Angela, so you can see all the videos and all the pictures of the garden. And the garden's not huge, but maybe one day it will be. So you can see, the progress of it. And just curate your world, make your world a happy place, because we're stuck at home and we pay a lot of money for our homes, and that's one of our biggest investments. So curate your world, make life better. And until next time, thank y'all for coming. Bye.